Hello everyone, this is Thomas from Zaxcom, and today I'm here to teach you a little bit more about the Nomad Mixer Recorder, specifically the home screen. It's where we always start out once we turn on the Nomad. So if you haven't already, go ahead and turn your Nomad on. Now the first thing to tell you about the home screen is there's actually multiple home screens inside of the Nomad. And in order to cycle through them, all you have to do is press the star key located in between the menu and the back button. Now we're going to go through all of these menus. However, I want to start at one specific menu because it shows the most information. So go ahead and press the star key until you get to the screen where the time code jumps to the upper right-hand corner and it shows a row with the word out at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, take a look at the video to see exactly which one I'm talking about. If you'll notice, in the upper left-hand corner, it gives you the transport control. Right now, the Nomad's in stop. Now, when I press record, it will say record. Now, right below it, you learned that we have the headphone monitoring options. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen, it will show you the Nomad generator timecode. Below the timecode, it shows you the status of your mirror drive. In this example, I've actually ejected my mirror card to show you that the front screen will tell you whether or not the mirror drive actually has a card in it. But if I push my compact flash card back in, you will notice that it will mount the volume on the Nomad. Below this, it will cycle between record time of your primary card as well as mirroring status. Now, when you're mirroring a file, it will tell you the status of the mirroring in a percentage as well as what file it's physically mirroring. This row will also tell you what segment your Nomad is currently on when you hit record. To the left of this information, you have the battery level of the machine. In our case, you can see an E with a voltage. This is because I'm powering the Nomad externally using a power supply. Now, if you have batteries inside of the machine and you pull the power, you'll notice that the Nomad once again does not turn off because it has the ability to seamlessly switch from external power to internal batteries. Below this are 2 meters for output 1 and 2. This is a great home screen if you're going to be using this Nomad in order to send a mix out to cameras or to an additional recorder, because it allows you to meter the outputs without having to go to any other screen. Below these 2 meters, you happen to have a shortcut to the routing of outputs 1 and 2 right on your home screen. In order to access this routing, press the bus button, and you will notice that the selection goes to the first input. Now, using your menu button, you can scroll left and right, which will allow you to select the different inputs on your machine. Now, in other videos, I was using the example of working on a reality show where inputs 1 and 2 happen to be my hosts, and 3, 4, and 5 happen to be the contestants. Let's go ahead and keep that the same way. And this time, let's use the home screen to set up the output buses for 1 and 2. So going back to this example, our hosts are coming in on inputs 1 and 2. So what I need to do is put a left in both of the boxes correlating to inputs 1 and 2, like so. Now for the contestants, we need to put a right in 3, 4, and 5. And there you have it. You have now set up buses 1 and 2 to output your hosts on 1 and your contestants on 2. You'll notice that you also have the ability to send an input to center, which is going to send it out of both 1 and 2. Once you've set up your bus routing on the home screen, press the back button to back out, which will allow you to get to the different features on the home screen as well as enter the menu if you need to. Now, the final thing that I need to tell you about bus routing on this page, you have the ability to set it to left, center, or right, but you also have the ability to turn it off. Just know that if this row is blank, you will not be sending anything out of outputs 1 or 2. Now, if this makes you nervous that if you're cycling through on a job, that you might accidentally disable somebody from going out of an output, you have the ability to disable empty pan, which means that it will continually cycle between left, center, or right without going to off. This way, you make sure that at least your audio is going to one of these buses, even if you make a mistake. To enable this, press the menu button and go to ENG Setup. When inside, go to Advanced Features. And the very first menu item is Prevent Empty Pan. Let's go ahead and turn that on if it isn't already. And then back out to the home screen again. Now, to enable the routing options on this home screen, press the bus button. Now, let's try cycling through on input 6. You'll notice that it goes to left, center, and then right, and then back to left. This is a great feature just to make sure that you are always outputting something so you don't accidentally forget and only have it internally on your card tracks. When you're done, press the back button to back out of the routing option on this home screen. The final thing to teach you on this particular home screen is the bottom meter, which in our case says input 1. This gives you the indication of where your preamp physically is for the correlating input. Now this works with the auto trim feature. If you'll notice, if I move fader 2, it will switch to input 2, 3 to 3, and so forth. You'll also notice that whatever input is enabled, that by using the menu knob to turn up and down the gain, it will move a diamond shape inside of the meter. This is a visual representation of where your input trim is set, so you know if you're going extremely high or extremely low. So now that we've looked at everything on this first home screen, let's press the star key and go to the next one. On this next screen, it shows you every single one of the outs on your physical machine. Outputs 1 through 6. Press the star key one more time. This time, it's going to show you all of the input meters. You will also notice that by moving a fader, which enables auto trim on that input, that input meter will become highlighted and the others will gray out. Pressing the star key one more time takes you to your card mix page. On this one, it will show you, as of right now, every single one of your card tracks. For example, with my Nomad 12, I have the ability to see the meters for all 12 of my card tracks. These are not input meters. These are card track meters. So I can see the metering that is actually going to disk. And the next thing that I want to show you is that by enabling or disabling card tracks, it will shrink this menu and make your meters a little bit bigger. Let's do that. Go ahead and press the menu button and go to Record Enables. Inside of this menu, you have the ability to put X's on each of your card tracks. For example, I have 12 for my primary card, and my mirror drive has 12 as well. Right off the bat, I want to tell you that you need X's across every single track for your mirror card. This way, depending on what tracks are record enabled for your primary drive, it will automatically copy those to your mirror card. Now don't worry about filling up empty card space. If you're only recording 4 tracks onto your primary card, you're not going to be mirroring an additional 8 tracks to your mirror card. It will only mirror what you physically record. For example, recording 4 tracks will mirror 4 tracks. So let's go ahead and disable tracks 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the Nomad in the primary card. Once you do so, back out to the home screen. You'll notice that some of the information has actually come back on the home screen since there's now room, since we've disabled some of the meters. It shows us tracks 1 through 6 that are going to physically record. Now let's go back to that menu and disable tracks 3 and 4. This time, you're going to see lines through the meters. This means that these two card tracks are disabled and will not record. So let's continue and press the star key one more time. This next home screen is just another option for you to monitor all of your meters. For example, this one shows inputs 1 through 6 meters, as well as your preamps and where they're physically located in terms of trim, and outputs 1 and 2. Pressing star key again brings you to another one, which allows you to see outputs 1 and 2, and then also inputs 7, 8, 9, and 10, which correlate to the returns on the side of your Nomad. You'll also notice that they have blue faders that have the ability of being moved around. To do so, press the menu button to highlight one of these faders, and then, using your scroll wheel, move it up and down. This is the exact same thing as using a fader on the front of the device. Now, what happens if you want to adjust fader 8, 9, or 10? By pressing the menu button multiple times, you will cycle through and highlight each of these faders to allow you to control them independently. When you're done testing this out, press the back button. And finally, on this screen, you have the ability to once again see the auto trim meter. So, by moving a fader, you will notice that it will tell you which input is currently enabled in the auto trim, as well as where the preamp trim is physically located for that input. Next, by pressing the star key again, this one shows you 4 outputs as well as 4 inputs. Next, outputs 1 through 6 as well as auto trim. And finally, back to the beginning home screen that's default when you get your Nomad. So there you have it. There are all of the home screens on your Nomad. Now, in future software updates, Zaxcom is going to give us the ability to adjust a custom home screen that allows us to see the meters that are important to us. But for now, go ahead and use the star key and cycle through until you find the home screen that works for you. Congratulations! You now know about the home screens that are available inside of the Nomad. If you have any questions, please contact us at www.zaxcom.com. Once again, my name is Thomas, and next time we're going to teach you about the Memory Store Recall menu, which allows you to set up presets depending on what kind of jobs you're doing to get your Nomad up and running without having to set up everything individually every single time you do a job. So once again, thanks for watching.